Hello, welcome to the Daily Lookin'. I wanted to come on here for a moment to take my earpiece out to talk about something a conversation that I've been having, and I wanted to share this with you. I was speaking with someone recently who was talking about secrets and how this person has a lot of secrets, and they mentioned that they would take it to the grave with them. They would never tell anyone their secrets, things that have happened to them. And it got me thinking about life and a lot of things that we hold. And how a lot of times as we try to figure out how to evolve, how to move forward, how to focus on the positive, again, a word people love to say, but just don't fully navigate it the way that they can. And that's what this channel is about. It's about helping you navigate getting to that stage of positivity and stage of understanding and enlightenment, self-enlightenment particularly. So I was flipping through my handy dandy Science of the Mind cards that you know I love, and what comes out? Perfection and ideas matter, which fits perfectly into this because, you know, our ideas of how things are supposed to go is always, you know, we want things a certain way. So we tell ourselves we want things a certain way. I won't say that it's perfect, but it's our idea of perfect, right? Whatever it is that we want, however way we want it. And when it doesn't go that way, or our life wasn't that way, or we wasn't raised a certain way, or our parents were different, or we got into bad relationships, or I had someone tell me that they've never experienced anything bad ever. Okay, things we tell ourselves that we need to believe. But we've all experienced things. And although people don't experience the same exact thing, right? My life may not be exactly like yours. Anytime you're drawn to someone on some level, remember, everybody is to teach you a lesson. Every person who comes into your life is to teach you a lesson about yourself. I can't say it enough. I'm probably going to say it in every single video. Every person. So that's what you have to be mindful of and paying attention to see how it resonates with you. Not just the person and what's going on with them, but how whatever they're dealing with, whatever their quirks are, whatever your issues are with them, whatever your concerns are, that where do you and your life fit into that? And that's what it's all about. So how is that connected to any secrets or any issues that you have within yourself? It fits in because if you're trying to get to better, this channel is about getting to better. It's about looking at things from a different perspective. It's about allowing yourself to be open to receive a new perspective that will help enlighten you to your own life. That is what it's about. So it's not about divulging any secrets. I'm not sitting here saying you need to divulge your secrets and that you're going to get it all figured out. No. The only person that you need to divulge anything to is yourself. You can lie to everybody else. You can say, I'm good, I don't have any problems, everything is fine, blah, 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 whatever. But it's about you. It's always about you. It starts and it ends with you, period. And so I need you to understand that getting to the secret, sitting in your pain, figuring it out, saying these are my quirks, these are my issues, why do I think this way, why do I feel this way, where's my insecurities, when did this start, when did I start telling myself that? We did a video on that. When did I start telling myself certain things to come to this conclusion about myself? So I want you to sit in your pain. I want you to be honest with yourself. If you feel comfortable and you have someone in your circle who you can trust, then try it out. But you have to get to a point within yourself that you are not ashamed. You have to be free of the pain and the guilt. Most times, before you start telling someone, because you're telling someone to get an ear, to get sympathy or empathy, to get an understanding, to feel validated in whatever decision you've come to. But before you do that, most of the time people do that, right? But before you do that, I want you to come to terms with whatever the thing is yourself. I want you to look at it no matter what it is. No matter what it is. Relationships, family issues, the craziest thing, the worst thing, the hardest thing, the best thing. You know, people think that it's just hard dealing with the bad stuff. People have a problem dealing with the good stuff too. People have a problem accepting the compliments and the recognition and the acknowledgement and the promotion and the love because you don't feel completely worthy. So you're gonna, oh, well, you know, it wasn't anything, or, oh, you're gonna downplay it, or you feel the need to give another person the same compliment just because they complimented you. Sometimes you have to sit in the joy in that moment and just receive. You have to learn how to receive, but you have to get there and start shedding the old you. Remember in the last video we was talking about how once you start evolving, you're never gonna fit back into the old person who you were. But you have to get to the point where you're evolving, and you could try and you could read and you could listen and you could do all of those things, but until you gain an understanding, all you're doing is trying to be better. And that's good, but it's hard, right? It's difficult. It's you slip back, you go up and down, you have your moments and your good days and your bad days. And that's not to say that as you become more enlightened and more in line that you're not going to have difficult days, but your perspective, everything is in your perspective. So what that means is, again, you may fall, but you're going to get up. You may slip, you may try to fit back into that old shape, but you're going to realize real quick, oh yeah, that's not me anymore. Oh, it doesn't work. You're going to try to entertain those same old people, and it's not going to feel the same. And then you're going to get it that, oh, it's me. It's not the person. It's me that's changing. And that's a good thing. That means that you're allowing your progress and your knowledge to change you by doing the work on yourself. That is how you truly evolve, by doing the work on yourself, by releasing yourself from any animosity that you have toward yourself. I don't have animosity toward myself. I'm good. That's just something that happened to me. I don't think about it. I don't talk to anybody about it. I know I've heard it over and over again. People say all kinds of things. But the reality is, somewhere in your spirit, in your soul, in your mind, way in the back file somewhere, you're holding on to something. And you know it. You don't have to verbalize it. You don't have to tell me, your mother, your cousin, your friend, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your whoever. In the back of your mind, you always got to look at you. Remember, everything starts and ends with you. So be honest with yourself about whatever you're going through, whatever issue you've had, no matter what it is, indiscretions, betrayals, lies, whether it was to you or from you. Be honest with yourself so that you can move forward. Why did I do it? Why am I feeling this way? This is what happened to me. How did it serve me? How did I carry that shame, that scarlet letter, that pain, that animosity, that regret? How did I carry it? How did it affect me? And what am I going to do to move it forward? And then you'll see that you developed a pattern through that pain. That's how you get to the bottom of things. Not by sweeping it under the rug, not like by acting like there's a pink elephant in the room that you don't see, which is very common, but by dealing with the pain. Sit in it. Lock yourself into it. I have a good side and a bad side. Everybody does. I have a temper and I have a calmness. But I'm not going to dig into that, right? When you evolve, as you do the work, you're not going to fit into the old you. You just don't fit. It's like you lost 100 pounds and you can't fit into those old clothes anymore. It's never gonna, I don't care what you do. You're never gonna fit into clothes after you lose 100 pounds. You're never gonna fit into those same clothes. Never, ever, never. Once you start shedding that weight, you're going to have to move forward and get on your new suit. Put on that new attire, because the old just doesn't fit. I need you to understand that. And life isn't about everything being perfect, because your ideas matter. Your ideas about yourself matter. That is what shapes you. That is what forms you. That's what draws you energetically to every single situation and relationship and person that comes into your life. Your ideas about yourself. That's the only ideas that matter. That's the only thing that holds weight. You hold weight within yourself. Not what anybody else says, not what anybody did to you, not what anybody said to you, not how anybody made you think that they made you feel. None of that. All that matters is what you think about yourself. Because remember, that is your truth, for good or bad. Because there's nothing as powerful as a changed mind. Because if you decide that I'm walking away, I'm doing this, I'm moving forward, I'm going to achieve this, I'm setting this goal, this is what I'm going to do, or not, that's what's going to happen. Nobody, I don't care how much a person says, oh, I'm going to make this person change, it can't happen. A person does what they want to do. Even when they say they don't. Even when they say, oh, well, I did it because, on some level, you did it because you wanted to. That's just what it is. And they don't do things because they don't want to. That is human nature. That is how it is. So I want to go into this week saying, sit in your pain, figure it out, be honest with yourself. You don't got to be honest. If you don't want to talk about it, don't talk about it. But don't sit there and hold all of this trauma in your soul and your spirit on your heart and then say, I'm taking it to the grave with me. For what? You don't got to be honest. You don't got to talk about it if you don't feel comfortable, even though those are part of your lessons, and our responsibility is to help other people, and we help people through the lessons that we learn in our life, but that is your business. So if you don't choose to do that, it's your choice. It's perfectly fine, but be honest with yourself. You don't have to be honest with anybody else if you feel that you don't want to, but you cannot really lie to yourself. You can't. You can try, but it's not going to work. Nothing is perfect. Nobody is perfect. Every single situation that has occurred to anybody, no matter how hard it is, no matter how bad it is, no matter what it is, no matter how good it is, think about it and say, what am I supposed to take out of this? Go into the week with that information and with that knowledge. I was thinking also about something I was going to close out, and I was just thinking about, reminded about something that I was thinking about earlier today concerning sitting in your pain, concerning digging down, and how life is hard, right? Life isn't a piece of cake, right? We go through things, we have up and down moments, and how people think that it just happened. You know, you grow up and you go through these issues and all of this stuff happens. When in reality, it starts out in pain. It starts out a struggle. And when I was thinking about that, I said, from the very beginning, From the moment there's struggle and there's pain, from the time that sperm is swimming to that egg, that's a trek. That is a journey. That is, I gotta go the fastest, I gotta get to it. That's a struggle. And then the egg is forming, right? And then once it's fertilized, and then it's growing, and it's changing, and it's evolving. And it's in the mother, and the mother is going through all of these changes. And then as it grows and changes, it goes through changes during birth. And there's contraction, and there's pain, and trauma from the very beginning. And then when you're born, you're falling down. You're learning things. You get burned. You get hurt. You fall off a bike or off a slide or whatever. You get burned by touching things you're not supposed to, not anything crazy I'm talking about. By going by the stove and running your hand against the hot oven and your mother having to tell you, oh, that's hot, or what have you. But the bottom line to it, even if it's a car outside or a hot slide getting on, I remember burning my leg on a hot slide when I was young. But the point is, going through situations that are traumatic, it didn't just start when you became 15, 20, 30, 40 years old. It didn't just start. It's all shaping you. It's all forming you. It's all preparing you. This is part of life. It's part of your growth, right? From the very beginning. From the very beginning, when you fell down and you tried to walk, what did you do? You had to get back up. That was your first lesson. Now, actually, that wasn't your first lesson. When you're crying and you want to be fed, right? I know if I'm an infant, I'm going to cry and it's going to cause a reaction. I'm going to get fed. There's a response to it. You're learning. You don't even realize it though. And you're not thinking about all of that as we get older. But we're learning life from conception. Literally from conception. You're coming into this world and it's hard and it's a struggle and it's painful and there's trauma and there's aches and there's pain and there's hurt knees and you're growing constantly. But that's what it's all about. And you know better. After you fall off that bike, you're going to do a little bit better. You're not going to try that trick that you did before. I fell off a bike one time. I had my sister on the handlebars. Why did I do that? I don't know. And she got scared, and I was really good on the bike. And she turned the handlebars while I'm riding it, and I fell off the bike and rolled down a hill. And I said, I will never, scraped up my knees, scraped up my ankles. I will never do that again. Never. You couldn't pay me to even have somebody sit on a bike with me after that. But you're learning constantly through life. That's what it's all about. This is not new. The lessons are bigger, right? But even in those moments, in those little moments, when you're younger, the lesson at that time is big. It's big for you. You made a decision. There was a consequence. And you said, I don't think I'm going to do that anymore. But go into that. Make the connections. Look at things and how it's growing and how you can do better and what's being fruitful and what are you gaining out of this life, out of your decisions, and how it all serves you, no matter what it is. There's nothing to be ashamed about. Nothing. You are not the first person to go through anything. I can guarantee it. I don't know you, but I can guarantee it that anything you have gone through, there is another person who has gone through something identical or very similar. There is somebody out there who can identify with you. I can guarantee it. And here's the best part of it. The person who can identify you at different stages in your life is probably somebody that you had a conversation with in the grocery store. It's probably somebody who you walked by and said hello to. It's a friend that you've known for years that you didn't even think about, asking them certain questions about their life or that they never divulged to you. But you were drawn to them energetically because they resonate with you. Think about your environment. Think about the people that come into your life. You think, oh, it's a coincidence that that friend is close to their mother, and that friend is close to their mother, and that friend is like I am. Or that friend has a parent on drugs like I did. Or that friend was molested and I was molested. You don't know. You don't know until you have conversations. But in order to have conversations, you have to be in that place. So I want you to go into this week knowing that whatever you got burdening you, stressing you, aggravating you, or that you're not aggravated by it, that is just something that you're going to take to your grave. You don't have to take it to your grave. Start looking into it. Let it go. Ease your spirit, ease your mind, ease your heart. You don't got to talk to anybody about it if you don't feel the need to. But as you do the work, you're going to want to share the information and share the insight. I also guarantee that. Thank you for tuning in, and have a good night.